So today you're not learning the system, you're not learning all of the steps, you're just gonna learn the product and you're gonna learn how to apply it. We've already done the applying technique because we've already done polishing techniques. It's the same thing, it's just a few different things that are little things that are different, okay? So, you and your kid have one of these little contraption thingies. We're gonna be working on these, so when you do your nail designs, you're gonna put them here at the end. All of these will be filled up and you'll be able to screw tighten them nicely, and then when you do offer services, you have your portfolio of what you can do. Okay, so that's what this is for. If you don't have that, no worries, you'll just have nail tips and a little baggie setup that you can offer your clients. Okay? Alright, you have your paper towel down. We're using paper towel today so we don't waste the others, the nice ones for clients. You already worked on doing, while I was talking, you already worked on doing your dry prep. My nails are crazy because I've been playing with this stuff since the morning, so I apologize for that. You have cotton balls, and in your damping dish you've got your alcohol. Alright, so polishes, gels. The way that it started, okay, let me find those over here. When we did acrylics way back in the day, we would finish up our acrylics with a layer of gel, a UV gel. And then we would put it in our light. And that would seal our acrylics, make it nice and shiny, and our little diamonds and stuff would stick back in the day. And then I'm sure somebody said, well, this stuff is awesome. And then nail polish chips off because it's nail polish, right? Even if you have the top coat. I'm sure somebody said, wouldn't this be awesome if we added color to it and then we cured it and it was polish that lasted longer? So technology, as it does, technology evolves. So then we had these little things. Gel was born. And then we had gel in pods. So the gel in the pods, this is the OPI brand Axiom. You had to use a brush. And with your brush, you had to pull up the gel. And then you had to apply the gel on the finger. And you polished it on. Just like when we do nail art and I tell you put a little bit on the foil and then polish it in. That was great. But then, as it would have it, people said, you know what? This is too much. The pod, they spill out. There's the brush. How can we make this better? Right? We just talked about feedback. How do you make it better? So then, some wonderfully amazing person came up with, well, you know what? How about we just put it in a polished bottle? So then all of these polished bottles came about, okay? Different brands. We have Gelish, Easy Flow, Cristrio, and China Glaze. And then that's it. Most of these, all of them are applied like polish. Most of these have a system to them. A system is, for example, you have a base coat, you have your color, and you have your top coat. Okay? And with the base coat, color, and top coat, what you have to do is you have to make sure that you follow the directions of the manufacturer. Okay? You're fine, you good? Keep going. Okay? So, this particular one from Easy Flow, you put your base coat, and then you have to cure it. Cure it means cook, per se. Cooking it in the light, so it hardens. Once you do the base coat, then you put one layer of polish color, or gel color. Then you gotta cure it a certain amount of time. Then you do a second layer of color, cure it, certain amount of time. And then you have your top coat, cure it, certain amount of time. Each manufacturer tells you a different time according to how much time that particular one requires. So like a cake. Some cake boxes tell you cook them for 30 minutes. Some cake boxes tell you 35, some 40, some, it depends on the cake. It depends on the brand. It depends on the ingredients. Same thing with polishes, okay? So, that's Easy Flow. Okay. Technology, as it would, because it takes time, right? Technology says, you know what? I don't have time for the whole top coat, base coat. Now, polishes like these from Chris Trio, you don't need a base coat and you don't need a top coat. The color is so heavily pigmented that you don't even need 2 coats. All you need to do is prep your nail, apply the polish, the gel polish, cook it per se, cure it for 30 seconds, and you're done. You don't even have to take the sticky off. Okay? Technology. So advanced that some of these colors, I can't remember if this particular one. No, I think it's these here. These, you put them in, so these you have to soak them off. To remove, most gel polishes, you have to file the top layer off, and then you soak them in acetone and they dissolve just like acrylic. Well, technology, as it would have it, is so advanced that these particular polishes, it says water soak off gel polish. If you put them in hot enough water, stick your fingers in hot enough water, you can peel them off. Yeah, isn't that great? Technology has been evolving, and it has been evolving so much that sometimes it's hard to, okay, well, is it 30 seconds in it? Is it 60 seconds? Do I need a base coat? Do I need a top coat? Or it's very confusing when you work with a lot of products. So it's good to just find one product brand, learn it really good, use this system, follow their steps, and then move on to learning others. Okay, that way it's not confusing. Same like with hair color brand. Once you apply the polish, if you do not cure it, okay, you can wipe it off. It comes right off. If I were to stick my finger in the light, it wouldn't cure on my finger. Okay, so you do have to make sure to use it appropriately and to, it's very messy, so you'll see in a second once we start getting there, okay? All right, so here are some rules. Rule number 1, with your light, make sure that when you're working with your polishes, if you notice, all of these polish bottles are dark, they're not transparent. Because as soon as the light, UV or LED light, hits that gel, it begins to crystallize, the little molecules, particles, they start to come together. And they stick together. And so if my bottle is open like so, and the light is seeing it, it will cure. This brush here, you can see it on the screen there. The whole thing is hard. It doesn't come apart. Okay, because my brush was out while I was curing and it cured in my brush. So, rule number 2, hide your brushes under a napkin when you're working with the gel. Rule number 3, when you're polishing your nail with the gel, it's a thin, I cannot stress it enough, thin layer of gel polish. People just want to take a big old goop of polish and just polish it on. No. Gel is like honey. As soon as you put it on, gravity's going to do its job and it's going to start to spread. And where do you think it's going to spread to? The finger, the skin, the nail sides, the grooves, and then the cuticle area. And then do you think that you're going to be able to take that off after you cure it? Nope. You got to file it off. And imagine filing that off of the cuticle and the side grooves. That's going to hurt. So it's very important. Protect your polishes from the light. Protect your brushes from the light. And thin layer of gel application. Okay? So really quick, I want to go over your lights. This light in particular, okay? It's a little hooded light. You push the button, the light turns on. You push it off, it turns off. It's a magnet plate on the bottom, so you can remove the bottom. If you're going to do feet, you remove the bottom, you put this on the floor, and then you do your foot. If you're doing hands, you're more than welcome to stick this on here, and then you have a base for your hand. Never stick your eyeballs in there. Okay, it's a UV LED light. It's not for eyeballs, okay? A lot of times you gotta be careful because the mom is here and you got a little kid and the little kid is short. And the little kid's like, ooh, pretty, right? You've got to be careful when moms bring children. If anything, the light shouldn't be facing your work area. It should be facing to the side, okay? This particular one is a 30, 60, 90. Think of it like a clock, 3, 6, 9. Those are the typical times. This is more updated, more modern. You stick your hand in there, it turns on. You stick your hand out, it turns off. Okay, it's censored. Some of these, and I'll come around the classroom where they are, some of these, they have a, you can't do that. Then do nothing. There's a little dial, a little stick in the back. It's got a timer. You push the dial to how many minutes you want it, and you push the button. And then it turns off, and it turns on, and then it turns off with the dial. We have 3 of the OPI lights that are like that. We have 2 of the thermal spa lights. The button, on and off button, is in the back. We've got 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You pick which minutes you want, and then the light turns on. You can't just put your fingers here. You gotta put your fingers back in the back. Okay. Some lights, I'll turn this one so you don't look at it. Some lights, they have little bubbles where you tell your client, find the bubbles, and they gotta stick their hand all the way to the bubble. Okay. This is a shanty. Okay, it's got the timer back here, on and off button back here. They're all different. Excuse me, they're all different. They do the same thing. Some, like this one, is handheld. It's LED. It's itty bitty. You open it up like a little laptop. You put your hand in there and you're done. You're cured. Some are more powerful than others. Some work better than others. This depends on personal preference too. Okay? All right. So here we go. What we're going to do now is I'm going to give you a polish, a gel polish. Now, these are Miss Martinez's, so we're going to be very respectful and we're going to take good care of them. I'm going to give you a color. It might not be your favorite color, but it's just a color. It's just a color. Okay, everybody has a color. That's cute. Alright, make sure I did not give you a top coat. Make sure it does not say top off, which is the top coat, and make sure it does not say foundation, which is the base coat. Nobody? Alright. With these, you don't necessarily have to shake them. It's gel. You might roll them if they've been sitting for a while, a long while, but you don't necessarily have to do the whole, they're good to go. Alright, so you've already done your dry prep. We practiced on Friday, you got your dry prep going. Okay. We're not learning the system. Today we're just introducing you to the product so you can play with it to see how it works. Reviewing how to polish. You're going to go stick your hand in the light and you're going to remove the sticky. That's all we're doing today. Leave it on because tomorrow I'm going to show you how to file it off and soak. Okay? Alright, so here we go. What I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and get your polish. I'm going to show you how to clean it first. Take your cotton round and then put some alcohol in your cotton round. You're going to dip your cotton round into your damping dish with alcohol. You need to clean your handle, your little brush. So wipe the little handle and then you're going to wipe the bottle. If your bottle feels sticky, it's because there's gel on there. So a good way to clean the bottle is just with some alcohol. Okay, let it dry. Then you're going to open it up. You're going to swirl and get off as much of the product on the little stick as you can and then wipe off from the bristles as much as you can. Then on this little swirly part here, the little lip here, you're going to take your cotton round, spread it out a little with alcohol, and then you're going to clean that swirly area. Clean it. Move your cotton ball around. Move the cotton ball around.
And what do we do with the brush?
The brush, you just lay it on your tabletop. And then you're going to clean it just a second. So you would also clean your brush on the inside. But miss, how do I get in there? You'd put this in a and you would put this in a like a disposable little cup, unless you want to clean it. Fill it up with alcohol, let it soak, and then take a little mascara wand or spoolie or toothbrush. Probably spoolie would fit, and then you clean it up. You have to take care of your products, because if not, they don't last long. These gel, they're expensive. They're like $12 a bottle. Some are expensive because they last, because you charge a lot. You charge at least $35 for an application. You get your money back immediately, right? All right, so let's go ahead, and we've already prepped our finger. Let's go ahead and put it back in. You're going to swirl the stick as best you can. You're going to remove as much polish off as you can. 2 swipes is good, minimum. You should see no product on your bristle. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to move to this finger, I'm going to do the ring finger. You're going to polish. You shouldn't have any product on your brush. You're going to polish from the middle, put the brush down in the middle, spread the bristles and wipe down. 1. Go to the right, push down the bristles, let them spread. Go down the side, 2, and then go to the opposite side. Push the bristles down and swipe 3. You can continue and go over it several times to get rid of any lines that you might have. Now remember, it's a gradual application of color. You are not trying to get a full coverage layer of color. You should still be able to see your natural nail. Take that to the side, not yet you, but I'm going to do, you keep doing the rest of your fingers. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do when you're done with your hand. You're going to go over to the light, then you're going to turn it on for 60 seconds. And you're going to cure your hand for 60 seconds. Now, if you take a look at my light compared to that, that OPI light over there, those 3, these bulbs are curved. The light is curved, the bulbs are on all sides. So if I put my thumb down, if you look at your thumb, it's kind of angled to the side. So my light here is going to crystallize my thumb. On the lights that are flat, it's not. So you gotta either put your thumb in on its own or really curve your thumb where the light can see it. Because if not, it will not work. Okay? That's important to know. Like you gotta put your thumb up. Yeah, because your thumb naturally is sideways. Yeah. And some lights, the lights that are more modern, they will already have that. Okay, to where you don't have to worry about it. All right, once you've done 1 coat, you're gonna go back to your station and your table, and you're gonna do it again. Wipe off as much product as you can. And you're going to polish 1 more time down the middle, on the right, and on the left. Now this time you're going to see you have a nice thick solid layer of color. And if you need to swipe several times, it's fine, making sure you have no lines. You're going to go back and you're going to cure for another 60 seconds. Now, one thing I will say, if you have a lot of product on your brush and you apply on the nail, you're going to notice that in a while your cuticles are going to flood, which means that there's a bunch of product on the cuticle or the side walls. So before you put it in the light, take your orange wood stick and then you can go ahead and pick off on the sides. You would usually use your brush with alcohol, but we don't have the brushes out today.
9:30 ADA attendance reminder.
So
What am I supposed to see my nail?
1 layer first, and then you're going to cure, and then layer number 2, and then you won't see the nail. Yeah.
Wait, I already did 2 layers.
But you got to cure
Oh.
in between. So 1 layer, cure, go back to your table, 2nd layer, cure. All right, so go ahead and go to one of the lights. You would put the light on the floor, take the metal part off, and then you can cure your toes. Okay, so once you do your 2nd layer, you can go ahead and go back and do another 60 seconds. Then, when you are done with your 2nd coat and 2nd cure, you're going to take a cotton round. And with your cotton round, now if you touch the finger, you're going to feel it's sticky. But you're going to take your cotton round, put some alcohol in it, and then you're going to wipe the sticky off. Now, with this one in particular, you're supposed to have a top coat. So when you wipe the sticky, it'll come off, as you see here. Again, every manufacturer is different. You need to make sure to follow the manufacturer's directions. Huh? You're taking off a layer because you're supposed to have a top coat on it. But I only have one top coat. So today we're not learning the process, you're just learning how to play with it. Okay? But once you take that off, when you touch it, you're going to notice that it's completely dry and it's not going to come off. Okay? Tomorrow, don't take them off because tomorrow we're going to file it off. You're going to learn how to file it off your entire hand. Okay? Alright, I'll give you some time to work on that.